Good morning, no, afternoon. Is it evening? When does evening begin? I am not exactly sure, but welcome one and all to our webinar. This is the hashtag Do More with M-PESA webinar, and this is what we're about to do today. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to talk to some experts, and it's all about stretching that business shilling. Kama uko biashara saa hizi, the thing you need to do, the thing you need to be aware of is that right now we need to stretch that business shilling, because this is a situation that's going on in the world right now because of something called coronavirus. Umesikia? Cardi B is telling you because of something called what? Coronavirus. Everyone is taking a big hit, and we have to react in a certain way. We have to be able to control that, and we have to be able to innovate and change in a way so that our businesses survive. So that's what we're all about today. That is our webinar. That's the hashtag Do More with M-PESA. Stretch that business shilling webinar. You're with me, Charlie Karomi, and we're going to be live for a while. But first things first, what I want you to do, wherever you're tuned in from, whatever you do for business, please tell us in the comment section, because we would love to know. Tell us who you are, where you're tuned in from, and what you do. We're trying to get to know you because we are here for you. So here's the thing, as I was telling you, because of everyone is having to innovate, because a lot of businesses, I believe that the only people who are making money are the people who make what? Masks, sanitizers, maybe some hand wash. Everyone else has taken a big hit, from people who do production, from people who do events, hotels and hospitality. You see the people, I heard that Serena even closed down the other day. Everyone is taking a massive hit. Now the only people who are barely even surviving right now are the people who have learned to innovate. I'm seeing a lot of people in my industry, the entertainers, Akina Jalango, Maina Kagani, DJ Joe Mfaume, they've taken their business online. That's how they've innovated, and that's how they're staying alive. So if you don't innovate right now, things are going to be very hard for you. But lucky for you, we have someone coming through in just a bit to show us how to do that. And this person, he's an expert. He's going to tell us all about himself in just a bit. But just remember, the elements, the basics that we're dealing with here today is that for a business, for you to survive, you need to make more than you're spending. Remember that. So that means you're stretching that business shilling. So right about now, I'm about to call up someone very special, an expert, if you may. He's with the guys over at Centonomy, by the way. They all believe that everyone can be wealthy. They're trying to help you take control of that wealth creation journey. And with us in studio, can I call this studio? We can call this in webinar. In webinar, we have him with us. His name is Bwana Waithaka. I'm just about to have him on. Bwana Waithaka, can you hear me?
What's up?
What's up? How are you doing, sir?
You've put me under pressure because the number of times you've said experts, Yanni, and I'm in this same issue that everyone is facing. Yeah. The issue around COVID-19. Mm-hmm. So if anyone can claim to be an expert on how to deal with the pandemic, that's not me. I think we train on wealth creation, but we don't train on pandemic healing. But now this is wealth creation within a pandemic. You are an expert. Let me tell you, you are an expert. Centonomy is known all around the country, and you guys are trusted to help us make. Actually, if I can give a very quick plug, my girlfriend actually went for one of your courses, and the number of things we've changed within the household, you will not believe. So I trust that will flow even here. But how's everything? Say again? For the better. You see, sometimes I want to have a soda that is a bit, but anyway, we'll talk about that later. But we're talking about this time, coronavirus, and how businesses are being really hard hit. The people tuning in, I'm seeing a lot of people tuning in. Yusuf Ado, I see you. Shout out to you. Mohammed Nyagasi, Gideon Max, Simiu Ulem Janja. But guys, as you're doing this, tell us where exactly you work, what kind of business that you have, and Bwana Waithaka might be able to get into specifics. But every business, Nikama Inaumia, you run a very big business right now, Centonomy. Like, has it been difficult for you in the wake of Corona? Before you even get to general, has it been difficult for you? Yeah, so first of all, thank you so much. Those are kind words that I run a big business. one of the things is we would still be considered to be an SME as Centonomy, but I think the reach and the voice that we have has been a lot bigger than we thought it would be. Look, this thing is real and it's affecting industries. If you just have to turn on the news to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's not just one thing. One thing I will say that is different is it's also not just the only people who make sanitizer and soap that are making money at this point. Mm-hmm. I think there's opportunity to make money. I love watching businesses around me, like the restaurants near my place. The moment they were shut down, immediately began to rethink how do we stay alive. Mm-hmm. And the delivery industry has been overstretched. I don't know whether you've experienced this, Charlie. Have you tried to order anything when you would have usually gotten it in half an hour? Now it takes probably maybe 2 hours or so. Why? Yeah. Because the number of deliveries going on mm-hmm. are just in that same space.
So there's certainly opportunity.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So there are certain opportunities, but there are also some industries that the space for innovation is very limited. We were training pilots, airline pilots at this time. And in a time like this, you can imagine the air industry. You don't have a choice. If countries are not allowing your airline to fly in, then you can't do anything there. So you may have to innovate not in the same line as your industry, but where there is an opportunity beyond that. So when we're speaking like this, it's not just about saying, oh, I'm a pilot and that's all you can do. No. Mm-hmm. It's to say, hey, maybe this work has dried up. What else can I be able to do? So we are all discovering as we go for a challenge.
Okay. So you kind of have to, some people have to look to new, horizons, look to new places and see where they can apply their skill and their efforts.
I'm telling you, Charlie.
Yeah.
Look at, you're talking about Centonomy as a big business. So we had probably at the beginning of this year about 300 students coming into our classroom, to sit and talk. Uh-huh. On Sunday, the president comes and says, no more classes to be held in any learning institution.
What do you do?
And we have a class coming in on Tuesday. What do you do? 2 seconds, we had a consultant in our office the next morning on Monday, trained the whole team. On Tuesday, we were running the classes online. That's the speed of innovation you need to begin to have. Yeah. And look, there's struggles. It will not be smooth sailing. Mm-hmm. I wish I could tell you, Yani, we plug and play and there was no issues along the way. We had to convince clients. We had to explain. We had to adapt the experience on that same space. And that's what I'm beginning to see even with other industries. Like the textile industry. One of our good friends at Centonomy is Wandia at Vivo Activewear. And she came on board immediately and was like, look, no one is coming to the stores. The stores essentially are being closed. They changed from making clothes to making masks. That's the kind of innovation that we start talking about. Okay. So it's not, you have to look at what the opportunity is where you are.
Okay, look for innovate, look for new opportunities. Okay, Sasa. And let me just shout out some of the people tuned in. A lot of people tuned in and they're telling us what they do specifically. Joseph Ikanja, I'm seeing you. Gabriel Innocent, Gideon Mike, Better Best, Riddle T.I., Benson Kenywa, Kipto Enoch. Kipto is watching from Eldoret and we're seeing you guys, that people who are saying they're doing laptop businesses, they're doing that. There are a lot of people tuned in and they're here. Guys, if you're just joining us, this is the hashtag Do More with M-PESA webinar. It's all about stretching that business shilling in terms of a crisis. Now, I'm no expert, but I believe for a business to work, I don't own a business myself, but I remember some business studies from primary school. So if you want your business to survive, you need to make more than you're spending. Isn't that right?
That's right.
Basically, that's the basic.
Yes.
And for you to...
It's called a profit.
A profit, exactly. Your revenue minus cost and then you get your profit. So here's the thing. For you to keep especially your costs low, you need to know how to keep track of your money, which is the first thing I want us to talk about here. How to keep track of your money. So in these times of a crisis where you're not making as much, you need to make sure you're not spending money that you do not have. But Waithaka, do you have any tips or tricks, any advice, regardless of the business that people are in, on how to keep track of your money? Because I was talking to my very good friend Juliana. She was like, if you can't go line by line telling yourself, M-PESA imeenda hapa, M-PESA imeenda hapa, then you have a problem. So what do you have to say on that, about keeping track of your money?
Charlie, just bring Juliana on the screen. Let her say it again, because that's it. I think it's so important that we're able now to break it down and say, look, we've trained businesses where they have absolutely no records. I'm telling you, where you even ask them, where's the cash flow statement from last week? No record, nothing in place. And so I'm like, watch this. Simply having a book where you write down where your money goes makes a huge difference. If you keep records, just physically or even electronically, it doesn't matter. That's what it is. Write it down. And especially for the small businesses, even those M-PESA dealers on the side, you know, those people, if you are running a kiosk, just keep records. It will be a lot more about what's happening.
Say that one again. The internet did its thing. So you said for everyone, if you have a small kiosk, what do you absolutely have to do?
Yes. You must have a record. Yeah, even if it's just a book where you're writing down cash coming in, cash going out. That's what's so important. The second thing is, if you have a team, for instance, let's say you have a shop where you have two clerks who are serving there, maybe a cashier.
Yes.
It's so important to have a meeting now with your team to begin to manage where money is going. And so it's no longer, this is abnormal times, as the PS was saying. You know, he was saying, we must deal in this abnormal space.
Yes.
It is so important to now cut back on any unnecessary spending within a business. I mean, we had, as a management team at our company, a meeting where we were saying, okay, what are we cutting out? What is not necessary? What do we have to just remove from our cash flow at the moment? We wait and see what's going to happen. This is so important because we don't know the end time. I think, if it was something else, like we know it'll be over in 2 months, then you can have plans. But right now, we don't know when this crisis is going to end. So keeping exact track of where your cash is going in the business matters a lot, because then you can make decisions based on that.
Okay, sawa. Because exactly as you are saying, we don't know when this is going to end. What wengine nasema June 6th, June, where? People are saying it's not like it's coming to an end then. So actually, you mentioned something that I want us to go into right now. It's about cutting the costs that are in there that we don't need to be, money that we don't need to be spending, really. So here's the thing, for people running businesses, are there general costs? Maybe there's a sort of rent, is there a general cost that if you look at it right now, you can actually start checking it off and go like, I know I owe this, but this one I can pay later. I'm allowed to pay later. Are there costs like that which someone can go through their books and go like, this is the absolute necessity, this we can deal with later? Kuna kitu kama hiyo?
Charlie, please, even the government notices that had no, you have to watch out. If you remember, even the government put out policies now where some of your loans, you may be able to negotiate and put them on hold. That's how serious it is.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this. This is the time to begin to negotiate even with your landlord and to go and sit down with them and say, hey, business is like this. What can we do?
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that every business must begin to do, because what is that space? If no employee is going to sit in that office, they're all working from home, where's the benefit that is coming from that space? So go and have a serious discussion with your landlord.
Yeah.
But I want to be very clear on even the cost cutting. I was getting myself mixed up there. Cost cutting.
Yes.
Even things like in the office, if you are offering, those extras for your team, like a cup of tea and everything those things now take a break. Just put them on hold for a second, because we're trying to make sure that we can stretch and make sure we keep those employees employed. Imagine it's better that they don't have a cup of tea but have a salary for the next month.
That is a very
So those are the
point.
decisions that you want to make. That's the kind of thing that we're trying to encourage. So think about things like rent. Go talk to your landlord and say, how can we negotiate? Can we reduce the payment? Can we stretch the payments on that side? If you have loans with the bank, there are current policies that are out there that may be able to support you, maybe to restructure that loan. If there are suppliers, now here's the tough one, Charlie. This is the one that always messes us up in business. Okay. You know, you're on both sides.
Yes.
You're on both sides.
Yes.
You know, you're a supplier, and then you also have people who are paying you because they are on both sides. Yeah. So the guys who owe money, you need to go and negotiate with them and ask them, how long before I need to pay? Is it 30 days, 60 days, 90 days? Huh? No, talk to those guys. The guys on the other side who owe you money, you're at their doorstep.
You're like, come on.
We must be there. Yes. Asking them for when do you think this is going to be able to happen? Yes. Obviously, there's a balance, but those are the kind of strategies that we need to actively be putting into place. You need to watch every shilling coming in and going out of your business.
Okay, so Zanyo Mesema, the general ones that people can actually, and people, guys watching, you can actually go through your books. These are just the general ones that Bonadaka has said. Rent, you can speak to your landlord. Loans, you can talk to the bank. Even the CBK actually put out those measures that banks need to listen to people and restructure and probably extend. Is there another general one that you've mentioned that I've probably forgotten? Now after that, people need to look at their books specifically.
Remember, costs within the business itself are very important to keep watch on. And if you can be able to negotiate with people who supply your business and negotiate terms, just talk to them and say, hey, if you can wait until I actually make the sale in order for you to receive your money, imagine I will do that at some point. But what it has done is that it has given you time to go and find the client wherever they have gone. Make the sale and then make the payment. Because sometimes we pay in advance, and then we have all this stock in our business, and that stock has not gone anywhere. So you've taken cash out, and there's no cash flow in. So that kind of negotiation is extremely important.
Okay. So, Bonaidaka, before we continue, we need to get some questions from the folks watching because we are here for them. And I'm seeing up AV, and guys, if you are watching right now on Facebook, on YouTube, tafadhali, just a comment down below, tell us your questions. I'm seeing Walter Owen up AV. Is this a question you're asking? Nilikuwa na biashara ya ka small bar, but hii corona imenimestumba plus gava kutukazia. What can I do to remain afloat? Now this is very specific into the type of business. He's into this, the happy business, let's call it that.
That's right.
He has a bar. Do you have any specific advice for Bwana Walter?
Look, as I said, there are some industries that are immediately hit and there'll be some difficult times ahead. And so remember what I mentioned, like even with airline pilots, if you're not flying, what else can you do with your time? So you're running a bar, the bars have been closed, you're unable to be able to open at that time. What else can you do? I think I was really interested. I was watching a story from a company, I think it was in Ireland, who produce alcohol. So, but they do it's a small brewery. So instead of now just producing the one for drinking, now they started changing to producing alcohol for the one for sanitizing. So that's a thing. So the team that you have at that bar, can you be able to negotiate with your suppliers and say, hey, we cannot sell directly from our office. Can we become part of your supply chain directly to people at home, if that is possible? Can we be able to assist, let's say, in some of the supermarkets that are nearby? If your industry has been shut down, it has been shut down. It's real. Take it in, understand it, and then begin to innovate around it. Because it's so easy to just say, I can't do anything, there's nothing that's left. No. Maybe that facility can be used for something else. People are still, with this whole lockdown, guys don't have space to stay. Can you change that space put some beds in there and it becomes a bed and breakfast? I don't know. What I'm trying to say is this. Just because your industry has been stopped does not mean that your mind has been stopped. It is important for you to now start thinking, what next can we do? As you advocate, Because I think I've seen some of the laws have slightly been changed now. I think there's a bit more freedom in how to be able to serve and to do so with the social distancing, etc., as you wait for such moments. Now, Charlie, one of the reasons that businesses struggle the most in times like this is because there were no savings or cash put aside for emergency.
For a rainy day fund.
Exactly. Yeah. So many of the businesses that are succeeding, and even the most probably some of the most famous businesses that are around there, put aside cash to allow them to survive over a period of time or even to invest. So if your business is still running right now, start putting aside cash. I know it's hard for
Bwana Wedaka, it has done the thing.
In times like this of uncertainty.
Bwana Wedaka, you were saying, I know it's tough for, and then the internet did the thing. Could you just repeat that very quickly?
Yes, yeah.
The internet.
Now which part did I stop? Can you see me? Can you hear me?
I can see you. I can see you. No, but you were saying now. Just repeat the last two sentences, Peke, and then we go on, because we need to show people there's a fantastic new thing with the Lipa na M-PESA till function that people can use. But just repeat the last two sentences that you said.
I said every business should have emergencies. So even as you spend, to put money there aside for emergencies.
Okay, so guys, keep those questions coming. We will address them in just a bit, but we need to show you guys this is a fantastic remember, if you're just tuning in, welcome to the fun and the education. This is edutainment. This is the hashtag Do More with M-PESA webinar. It's all about stretching that business shilling. In time of corona, how does a business survive stretching that business shilling in the time of a crisis? Now we're about to check out this new innovations in Lipa na M-PESA, especially the till, the business till. You can do so much with it right about now, and we have a video to show them that. One director, do we have that video ready? Okay, check out this video.
Penny Wamboi. I run a company called Neo King Trading Limited. We are a distributorship, but basically we try and sell our goods in wholesale prices. I started this business when I realized that bars, restaurants, and your institutions hardly ever have a one-stop shop. I realized that if I brought all those different aspects under one roof, then that would be beneficial and that would make my customers happy. We have Lipa na M-PESA because of the convenience it offers. The payments I make using the business till number are wages. I also pay my suppliers, and I also pay my bills. I feel secure because I know I don't have loads of cash lying around. I have money right here on my till. Cashless payments are always preferred during these trying times of COVID-19. So the Lipa na M-PESA business till number has really come in handy to promote that. And we aim to open up a website and run our business through e-commerce.
Straight from the business till, you can now pay salaries, pay suppliers, pay utility bills, withdraw to an M-PESA agent, or sell airtime. Opt in today by dialing *234# and select option 2, or sign up for an M-PESA business till at mpesa4business.co.ke.
And we are back. In case you're just tuning in, where have you been? We've missed you. This is the hashtag Do More with M-PESA webinar. It's all about stretching that business shilling. Your shilingia kibiashara right here. And with us we have an expert. Hata kama hataki nimuite expert, I will call him an expert. Bwana Waithaka from Centonomy. Bwana Waithaka. Uko salama?
I hear you, man. Niko salama.
So now, just to a quick recap for the people tuning in to Pesema, if you are in business, what you need to be doing right now, look to new horizons, regardless, and these are kind of general. You need to think about these tips and make them apply to you and your business. Look to new horizons. You are doing this before COVID-19. Actually, as Cardi B puts it, inaitwa, it's not even called COVID-19, it's called coronavirus. So before coronavirus, you are doing something, and now you need to look to new horizons to figure out what you can do to keep your business afloat. And also, for how to keep track of your money, you need to always write it down, keep a record. And I've actually seen over here, those M-PESA statements, those can be your line by line. If you're making all of your payments to and fro, like your suppliers, paying your wages, that is like your ledger already put together for you. Super easy. So write it down, keep a record, and also avoid if there are costs that you can negotiate with someone like your landlord probably, or loans to talk to the bank, because banks are being advised to listen to people and order for restructuring and extension of loans, and as I said before, innovate and change. We have like 2 or 3 questions here, Bwana Waithaka. Before we get back on track, I want us to address Bwana Benson Kenywa. He's come through and told us we are in fresh fruits distribution, but the orders have drastically gone down, forcing us to temporarily close. What can we do to overcome this and get back? We're just a year and a half in. So fresh fruits distribution. What are you feeling? What are you feeling, Bwana Waithaka?
Yeah. Here's one of the things that I found to be really interesting. I don't know if you can hear me clearly now. I'm trying to make sure that you can hear me.
I can. We are getting you loud and clear. Bwana Director, can we hear him clearly? Yes. I'm being told everything is okay.
Very good.
Yes.
Wonderful. So here's the thing. Maybe demand has gone down into the fruit, maybe that I don't have enough money to buy as much as I did before.
Yes.
But the truth is people still need to eat. And that's one of the industries that I'm so interested in is agriculture, because people still need food. And so the issue is the clients, they have not left this world. They're seated in their home like you and I. It's just that I can't go to the market and be able to buy the fruits from there.
Yeah.
So how can you be able to make it as simple as possible for your clients to receive your product or your service?
Yes.
So this is the time to begin to innovate and say, how can I get to you? I'll give you an example. Like we were dealing with hairdressers specifically. And when we were dealing with the hairdresser industry, these people were asking, can we come in? Can we be able to move? What can we do? Some of them were innovating and saying, look, we'll come to you. You used to come to the shop where we are, to the salon, but now we'll come to you. Maybe in the same way, you can think about it in the industry which we're talking about here, fresh fruit. I still need fruit for my family to eat, but I feel like it's dangerous to go out. How can you make that easier for me in order to be able to receive? So the numbers that are on your phone, those contacts that you are using, can you reach out to them? Can you reach out to them and say, hey, I've not seen you here for a while. All those people who paid you via M-PESA, they are your clients. Why don't you call them and say, you've not been here for a while?
So you call the people who were your clients, tell them, we've missed you in the shop. How can we, Bwana Waithaka? As we are struggling to, we're about to have him back, and he's back. Bwana Waithaka is back. So all of those people, I love how you said, you see, like paying by M-PESA. I've actually noticed this. I was with a friend of mine in Toy Market, and while she's there, she always uses her M-PESA to shop. So now when she goes back to someone, because she's looking for a nice deal, she goes like, Waithaka, ni wewe. And then this, like, absolutely, because you've used M-PESA, you've seen the person's name. This is now, you've built that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead now.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is that those numbers on your M-PESA, when you leap on M-PESA, when you with, like those people who pay you via M-PESA, those are your contacts because you have their numbers there. So call them, also check up on them, ask them, oh, how are you in this period? Are you holding up? And then you have that personal relationship, and then you go like, hey, I know you liked apples. I have this fresh batch of apples. Reach out to them. So to Benson Kenywa, the numbers on your phone, that is how you help yourself. That is how you reach out to your customers, see how they are doing, and then also offer to take them their product to their door, ease their acquisition of your the process of them acquiring your product. So amazing, thank you. Two more quick questions. What for an SME?
Yeah.
What tools can I use to track my cash flow? That person didn't tell us his or her name, but they're asking for an SME, what tools can I use to track my cash flow? Of course, I told you guys, M-PESA statements, they are everything.
Yes.
Do we really need, okay, but tell us, Bwana Idhaka, what tools can they use?
Yeah, M-PESA statements are great. And I think if we can be able to leverage on those tools that are already on our phones, you can use those.
Yes.
There are lots of free tools that you can use. If you have access to a laptop, you most likely have access to, for instance, Microsoft Excel. On Excel, there are free templates on it for profit and loss or an income statement that you can begin to just plug in your costs into that. I know there are applications available on your phone. You may be able to get them, some are for cost, some are free. But if you simply even just have Microsoft Excel, there are free templates on there that will give you an income statement for larger businesses, smaller businesses that you can adjust. The key here is to keep those records that are there. We can't give an excuse that I don't know how to put together a P&L. Go online, YouTube.
Yes.
This is where we're learning, all of us at this point.
Yeah.
And learn how to put together that P&L. Look, this season of COVID-19 is, for most businesses, is really about survival.
Yes.
And the survival is really of the fittest, those who are willing to go over and above.
Okay. Sasa.
Yeah.
And I believe so. There are a lot of tools online. They can use them. Go on YouTube and learn. Yes. It's called the YouTube University. Learn from there how to put together a P&L. There's so many free tools, but mainly the Excel online on YouTube, and learn that, and M-PESA statements. That is how you can keep track of your cash flow. Yeah. But I want us to continue because hapa hivi kuna maswali zingine I need to ask you. So I guess it's similar to what Benson was saying. This is basically like, how does someone, because earlier you've showed us how to
You're breaking up a little bit.
Oh, we're breaking up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead again. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me, Unique New York, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Can you hear me now? Perfect.
Yes.
So it's kind of similar to what Benson had asked. Like what I'm wondering here, because earlier tumesema maybe vitu kama rent na loans, that's how we keep track of the money that's leaving our organization. Like make sure the money that is leaving is at an absolute minimum. Now you need to ask, because tumesema for you to survive as a business, keep your costs low but your income a bit high. So I want to ask you, how can I increase revenue, especially in this time yenye my clients have gone away? Are there general ways in which I can increase revenue? Apart from reaching out to them personally, using the numbers on my phone, are there other ways that I can go over there and then get my clients back? Are there other ways apart from reaching out on phone?
Look, it, and here's one of the things that I've learned about business. If it has worked in the past, it will work again now.
Yes.
This is a time to focus on client service like you have never done before. If you have never called your client, call them now. If you have never reach out now.
Yes.
I'm always surprised. I don't know if you've walked in Nairobi City or any one of the cities during lunch hour, and you'll see one of the restaurants, there's somebody standing outside even with a bell and shouting, come, kujeni, kuna chakula, whatever it is, whichever one, ugali, skuma, whichever one it is, you're more likely to go into that shop because there's someone telling you about it. Because there's action moving towards it. I was very surprised because we were training entrepreneurs in Nakuru area, and this lady she's a hairdresser. She has a salon in her place, and she was saying, I was telling her, you need to give your workers targets and tell them this is the number of people I want you to be dealing with on a daily basis. And this lady looked at me and she wondered, but Waithaka, these are hairdressers. If they leave the shop, that's terrible. Go look for the customer. And I was like, what's this? Who told you you have to leave the shop in order to find your customer? Go on Facebook, go online. That's what Instagram is for at this point, to show people this is the kind of hairstyles that we can do for you here in our shop, and we can be able to get it to you. The point is this: expecting customers who are already stressed, customers who don't know what is going on, they are worried, maybe they have less money, to come and find you is a big mistake.
Yes.
We, the entrepreneurs and the SMEs, must go out to find those customers. In fact, here's some advice, and this is something we did with our leadership team, even at Centonomy. We sat down and said there are costs that we are going to cut. There are certain things that are not going to be there. But one of the budgets that we were not willing to cut is the budget for advertising and marketing. Why? Because if we don't get the customer to come in, that's it.
You're done. You're finished.
That's it. So we must also take responsibility as entrepreneurs and say, it's not my customer's job to find me. It's my job to go and find that customer. And believe me, they have not left the world. They're sitting at home wondering what to do with their lives. Go find them there at home, the best way.
Okay. So guys, reach out. Do not, as in at one point, if you're thinking, watakuja, they will come. No. You have to reach out and find them there, where they're at home, whatever they are doing, wherever they are quarantining. Please find them there through your phone, call them, Instagram. Make sure you use all the tools available to you to reach your customers. Penye wako, you can reach them, you can find them. Because as you've said, Bwana Waithaka, they have not left this world, they're just waiting for you to find them. That's
right. And the opportunities may even be with new customers who have never experienced you. That's another area that we have never thought about. And so maybe you've been servicing a certain area of the business. Why not new customers? Just a thought crossed my mind for the gentleman who was talking about fresh fruit.
Yes.
One of the industries that has not slowed down is construction, Mjengo. And I keep seeing everywhere, when I drive outside, I still see lots of men and women working on construction sites. Why can't we say, look, those people need fruit and vegetables? Why don't we drive there during lunch hour and be part of the suppliers in that space? I mean, we have to be so tenacious. We need to go out with everything we've got in order to get past this stage. And one of the things I've found with successful entrepreneurs is that they never take no for an answer. They're the kind of people who will get up and do what others are not willing to do. So others may be sitting back and saying, oh, it's so tough, no clients, we can't do anything. Those entrepreneurs who are the most successful will sit back and say, wow, this is tough. What am I going to do about it? And I'm asking you, the entrepreneur, what are you doing today to shore up your business for the future? It's up to you.
Okay. I'm hearing you very, very impassioned. Clearly, you see why I'm calling you an expert. You don't just know these things; you feel them in your soul. That's what we need. That's an expert now. That is an expert. We need to continue. I need to know. This is one of the last questions that I'm going to ask you. I know I've asked you a lot of questions. This is one of the last ones. I need to know about.
I'm here for you.
So innovation. That's the only way that people are surviving. I was even telling guys about the people who are innovating right now. Some of the most popular, I work in the entertainment industry, and the gig biashara is practically online. It's dead right now. But people like Jalango, Kina Maina Kageni, DJ Joe Mufalme have moved their operation online. They are innovating, finding a new way to work. maybe not even change their business model, but finding a new way to reach people. What can you say about innovation that someone needs to constantly have in mind that will change their mindset about innovation? So anytime akiangalia a business process, they can go like, I can change this in that way. Is there a specific tenet that you have, some principle, some overreaching principle that mtu akifikiria, boom, vitu zinaunlockiwa?
Let me put it in unequivocal terms. Innovate or die. That's what it is. And it can happen to any of the biggest businesses.
Yeah.
When we are training entrepreneurs, I don't know if you remember this sound. It might be familiar to some people. Do you remember this sound? Do you remember that one?
Nokia.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I mean, they were the #1 business on mobile phones in the world, and they were able to be knocked off that #1 position and went bankrupt.
Yeah.
So innovate or die. That's literally it. You have to be keeping on moving forward. Otherwise, you're moving backwards. That's it. There's no if you're stationary, you're moving backwards.
Yes.
So here's the thing about innovation. Innovation is not just about technology. It's not just about having an app or having a web series. One of the things that I've found so interesting recently is when you talk about it, the service industry around food. So you can imagine catering companies right now don't have work because weddings have been canceled, no major events and all those things.
Yeah.
So I was dealing with one of a lady who's running a catering company, and what she's beginning to do is sell recipes. So she's doing recipe books that she's able to sell because people are now cooking for themselves. So rather than sitting at home and saying, oh, I can't go and cook for people, I'm selling recipes so that people can be able to cook for themselves. There's engagement with her clients, and then she's able now to begin to even get a new client base. So innovation just doesn't always mean technology. She's selling books. That's a technology that has been there forever. But what she's doing is using the same thing, the same skill set to do something different.
Okay.
So innovation, we need to begin. Thomas, where they are.
Now you're back. Okay. So innovation. Let me ask you, to get these new ideas, do you need to probably discuss your business?
I hope you got that last bit.
I caught most of the last bit. Is there? I think I caught most of the last bit. I think we may have to just 5 seconds, but I caught most of it. So we're good. Let me ask you, because sometimes people...
Take this whole innovate or die.
Innovate or die. If I missed everything else, just remember innovate or die. I need to ask you, sometimes I hear people saying, if you want to know how to innovate, maybe saizi umekaa umesema, biashara yangu hata sijui venye nitaipeleka. Do you need to discuss, probably like get a friend of yours or maybe explain your business to a child and hear what they say? Or what's something that you've done before that you got a new idea? Maybe ni kuita mtoto mwambie skiza even ndivyo dadi anafanya biashara, and then you explain, and as you're explaining you realize kuna kitu. Or is it maybe I don't know, explaining to a friend of yours or drawing it out on a board? What's a tip that you can give for innovation?
Don't even talk to those people.
Yes.
One of the things that we have found to be one of the most revealing about our business is to talk to your customer. Many times we don't. And if you've noticed, a lot of businesses are now asking for feedback from their clients. Just asking, what was your experience like when you went into the bank? What was your experience like after, all this? What they're trying to do is discover what are we doing right, what are we doing wrong, and how can we develop?
Yes.
If you're not talking to your customer, then you don't know what you're actually doing. And even those, because I know there's some people listening who are thinking about starting a business, even in this period of time. Even before you start, go and talk to your potential customers, because they will give you insights into things that you never knew beforehand. It's a process, and you can Google this. It's a process called design thinking.
Yes.
Where you ask the question and then develop your product so that it best fits your customer. That's one of the areas that I would really suggest. Talk to your client. Your children might give you some insight, but your client is the one who's going to tell you, I don't like this, you guys didn't do this, or I really love this, and you can work on it.
Okay, so talk to your client, because at the end of the day, they're the ones you have to serve. If they tell you something, you go like, yeah, I can actually do that, by the way. And if they're happy, you're also happy. Sindio?
That's right.
And let me just quickly shout out some people who are tuned in. Mark Ndubi tuned in. Elias Arab Katalia tuned in. Ahmad Kada Burale, Stephen Kings, Delvin Kwamboka. I'm seeing all of you tuned in. There's someone called Lynn Luchitio. I have this dream of opening up a food joint. Yani just a little something for takeaway, then kulipa na M-PESA. How can you advise me for this? Haven't we? If she has a dream of opening a food joint, is there?
Yeah.
Just get started. Is that what advice do you have for her, Bwana Wedhaka?
Wow, I'm not. Well, I frequent many food joints. I've never started a food joint myself. And I would say look for something that's very clear. I think when it comes to food joints, you tend to go to a place where you know what to expect.
Yeah.
There's a signature dish. There's something that you know I'm going to get from this place. It may not even be the dish. It may just be the ambience of the place, the type of place that it is. So I would suggest to her, if food is the area of interest that you're in, the space is quite wide. Catering, an actual restaurant, deliveries, maybe even just food production along the way. Try and figure out which part really excites you, and then do research in that area and begin testing in that area. So for instance, if you want to
open a...
cater a friend's birthday party.
Okay. So start by, if you want to open that catering business, try to cater a friend's birthday party.
Exactly. That will give you some idea of what people are enjoying and loving about what you're doing, from which then you can begin to build a business.
Okay, Sasa, I see that. And also, by the way, when Bwana Wedhaka says research, yes, do research on Google, but sometimes unaweza potea, there's so many results. Actually, maybe can she go out and actually visit a few places, visit a few restaurants, see what they're doing? And as you said, research can also be in catering. Your friend is having a birthday party, you go like, hey, wacha nikupikie, wacha nione. And in that you can go like, people like this, people wanasumbuanga kufanywa hivi. That is research in itself, isn't it?
Thank you. Okay. In fact, can I just let you continue? You're the expert now.
No. I am just the person who is I'm just asking you questions. Don't run away. Don't. Hatujamaliza. Tuko na swali kama ya Bogomo Stanley. He says, I started a hospitality business coincidentally in March. It had been in planning and actualization phase since January. What options are there for it? He's in hospitality. What options are there for it? I know this is another where we're asking you to go a bit specific, but do you have anything in your wealth of wisdom and experience?
Look, it's looking for where the opportunity is right now. I know, let me give you an example of what some of the hotels have done in Nairobi City. So there was an issue of quarantine. So some of the hotels actually spoke to the government and offered their facility as quarantine facilities. So anyone who's coming into the country right now has to be quarantined for 14 days, and they now can be able to function as that. So I know it's difficult, but that's one of the areas. I think what's really amazing is now, especially the hospitality and the food industry is beginning to open, restaurants are beginning to open with restrictions. So it's to understand what can you do so that you are able to maximize in that space. That's what I would say.
Okay. And then finally, I think this is one of the last questions we're going to tackle right about now. What are the signs that my company is financially healthy? Actually, let's do it both ways. So talk to me about the green flags and the red flags as well. When I see this flag, I know we are healthy. When I see this, I know we are in the red proper. Talk to me about that.
So you would think that profit is probably the main indicator, but that I would not say so. I would say control is the indicator, because sometimes businesses may look profitable because there's a lot of cash coming in, but the cash flow is simply covering up that there's some issues below. So control is what really matters in a business. If you know where your money is going.
Yes.
Let me say one thing very specifically here to entrepreneurs. The business money is the business money. Your money is your money. You need to separate the two, because many times you are saying, thank you, that you are the only, you know that this business is yours, so all the money is yours. No, that's not it. There's a difference.
The business,
and if you,
please say it louder for the people at the back. Say that again. Say it again.
Those guys at the back, the business money is the business money. Your money is your money. You need to separate the two. Remember, you own the business. If you don't take control and make sure that you're getting cash the right way from your business, you could be stealing from your own business.
That actually happens.
Yes.
You could be stealing from yourself.
Yes. I mean, ask yourself, if you hired a manager to do your work, would you give them the right to open up the till and the work to open up the money from there to take for themselves the way you do? No. So why is it right for you to do the same thing? So when I say control is so important, that control is what takes you through the good times and allows you to put aside some cash and even savings for the bad times. And it's the one that will help you stretch your money during these difficult times.
Okay, so control. So if you have control, green flag, what are some of the things that tell me that I don't have a healthy cup? What are some of the red flags, the common ones?
If I come and ask you, show me the cash flows from last week, and you can't show it, red flag.
Okay.
Yes, if you can't show me where the money went and where it came from last week, there's a problem there. Obviously, there's a lack of control. If you can't show me also projections of what you're hoping to achieve in the next month, that's also a red flag. But a green flag is when you can be able to account and say, this is what we did last week, this is what we're expecting for next week. And you don't have to be an accountant. What you have to be is diligent in keeping those records.
Okay. So green flag is you have control and you know that the business's money is its money and your money is your money. And then a red flag, if you can't account, mtu akikuuliza hii pesa ilikuja ikaendaje, if you can't account for that, shida. Red flag.
That's it.
We have another late question coming in. His name is Bwana Joseph Gevi. Shout out to you. Thank you for tuning in. Mr. Host, please give a breakdown of what a good and effective business plan entails, especially in Kenya. That's not Mr. Host's job. That is Bwana Idaka's job, Mr. Expert. So do you have a breakdown of what a good and effective business plan looks like, what it's like?
A good business plan is one that has been tested in the market. We've been helping businesses to put together business plans for years. And a business plan is a living document. It is not something that just you put it and then it suddenly works. It works when you put it into the environment in which it's supposed to work. And then you make the adjustments, and that testing is what refines your business plan. So a good business plan, obviously, it must include a good product or service. It must include a good market. So you might have a good product or service, but no one wants it. So there's no market for it. And that's important. But I think it might be solving no one's problem, and that's an issue. So you must make sure that you're doing that. There must be a market, as we're talking about, and sufficient finance to make sure that the business is able to flow. When I say sufficient finance, I mean this. Some people think, capital has to be a lot of money. No. It's not about a lot of capital. It's sufficient capital for the business to move. And some of the core areas people forget, like what we've been talking about today, is how do you find your customer? If you don't finance yourself to reach out and tell the customer, hey, there's a good product here, there are some issues. So Safaricom is spending some good money to have this show on. Why? Because they're trying to reach their customer, and that's a major part of business. So here's the thing. Good business plan is one that has been tested in the market and refined. Because every business plan, once it meets the client, it must change. There's none that I've seen that has gone from a piece of paper and worked immediately.
It has to change in a way. Innovate or die. as you said. Very. So now here's what we're going to do. We're still trying to remind people. This is the hashtag Do More with M-PESA webinar. It's all about stretching that business shilling, and we're reminding you it's an amazing some amazing new innovations in that till number business. If you just dial *234# option number 2, by the way, apply for that till. You can pay from that till directly. You can even pay your suppliers and your employees. Do we show that video? We'll show that video again in the end. Probably we will show that video again.
Okay.
Bwana Idhaka, we need to run. Mina ambona nafukuzwa hapa hivi. It's almost curfew time. Mi kabla nishikwe na curfew. Bwana Idhaka, the summary from this, if I want to take something away from this, always look to innovate. Write down and keep a record of your costs and where your money is coming from. Find out those things in your business that the costs that you can cut. Maybe it's rent, maybe it's loans. You can talk to your bank or to your landlord, muweze kureach an agreement. You need to reach your customers where they are. Watafute, reach them where they are. You need to talk to your clients for them to actually tell you, you know, when you did this, I loved that, but this I don't love. And that way you can actually change your business. And then kitu ingine, two more things. A good business plan is one that has been taken out to the market and has changed according to what is there. And then finally, the business's money is its money. Your money is your money. Tafadhali. Sindio? So, Bwana Idhaka.
It's important.
It's important. Bwana Idhaka, before I let you go, you are the expert. Yeah. I have been asking the questions that I thought of. Is there something that maybe you want to tell the entrepreneurs out there who are watching right now, especially about this time, the coronavirus crisis, or just generally? Is there something that I haven't asked you that you feel like people need to know?
Yeah. The life of an entrepreneur is one of a problem solver. I think the fact that there's a big problem in this world means that there are solutions, big solutions that are being looked for.
Yes.
Just to give you some hope, I know people have heard of this conferencing tool called Zoom.
Yes.
Many people had not heard about it before. The main one that we had heard about is, I think, Skype. That's what people knew. But these guys were building a system that was prepared. They had capacity that was preparing for difficult times. What are you preparing for even as we go forward? Each one of us running a business is a problem solver. Now that there's a big problem, step up, entrepreneur. You can solve it as well.
Hey, okay. Mumesikia. And I can't even, that's spoken by a true expert himself, Bwana Waithaka from Centonomy. But we need to run. Thank you so much, Bwana Waithaka. We've learned so much. And the people on our Facebook, on our YouTube, on our Twitter, they are thanking you so much. I'm seeing Tandu Tandi. Hi, Tandu Tandi. You're saying thank you for the very informative information. Innovate or die and control. Ken Gitonga is also tuned in. Delvin Kwamboka tuned in as well. Evans Michael Kingpin Apunda, beautiful name, watching from Sindo. Shout out to you. And they are tuned in. They're saying thank you so much. Plan for June the 6th, just in case. Any plans?
I'll be watching the news. I'll be watching. Yes. Okay. I wanted to say, I stole that statement, innovate or die, from a guy called Jack Matson. People come and say, hey, that guy, Waithaka just steals people's quotes. Yeah. It's Jack Matson. He said, innovate or die.
Jack Matson. Okay, asante sana. Thank you so much, Bwana Waithaka. And shout out to Igabantu Studios that were shooting this. But most of all, the two people that we must thank right now is you for watching and for participating. We hope that you've learned something from us today. And also, this hashtag Do More with M-PESA webinars, they are going to continue. They don't stop now. But of course, you know Safaricom is here for you. So what do you want to learn about? Who do you want in the studio next time explaining something to you? Tafadhali tell us in the comments. We'll go through each and every one of them. We'll try to deliver that person to you guys. So what do you want to learn about? about? What do you want to hear about on these webinars? But shout out to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. And of course, thank you to Safaricom for having us. They're always here for you. Do not forget that. This has been the hashtag Do More with M-PESA webinar on how to stretch your business shilling during a crisis with me, your host Charlie Karumi, and of course the amazing Bwana Idaka. Until next time, we'll see you guys, I believe, next week. Director, next week. We'll see you guys next week. Asanteni sana for tuning in. Bye.
My name is Penny Wamboi. I run a company called King Trading Limited. We are a distributorship, but basically we try and sell our goods in wholesale prices. I started this business when I realized that bars, restaurants, and your institutions hardly ever have a one-stop shop. I realized that if I brought all those different aspects under one roof, then that would be beneficial and that would make my customers happy. We have Lipa na M-PESA because of the convenience it offers. The payments I make using the business till number are wages. I also pay my suppliers, and I also pay my bills. I feel secure because I know I don't have loads of cash lying around. I have money right here on my till. Cashless payments are always preferred during these trying times of COVID-19. So the Lipa na M-PESA business till number has really come in handy to promote that, and we aim to open up a website and run our business through e-commerce.
Straight from the business till, you can now pay salaries, pay suppliers, pay utility bills, withdraw to an M-PESA agent, or sell airtime. Opt in today by dialing *234# and select option 2, or sign up for an M-PESA business till at mpesa4business.co.ke. Safaricom is for you.